Welcome to No Holds Barred special episode with Alex, which I'll throw over to in a minute to introduce himself. Obviously, that's Sal over there, and I'm
Good
Don.
afternoon.
So this is, we don't know what to call this episode really, but it's primarily going to be, well, it is only going to be about one
Epstein
topic,
Files
really.
special.
It's an Epstein special. So, yeah. So let Alex introduce himself, and then we'll crack on with it.
Hi, my name's Alex, also known as Political X. I run the Sunday Roast, which is a podcast on Sunday mornings. I'm an author, journalist, former teacher, former football coach. So yeah, done quite a bit in a lifetime of a few decades. So yeah, I'm here to talk about Tony Blair being in the Epstein Files and no one talking about it.
Absolutely right. Yeah,
Because there's millions of them, and there will be stuff to come out forever.
Forever,
But
yeah.
we can't let it. We can't let the topic drop just because of the Epstein war.
Do you want an exclusive?
No, absolutely.
I'll give you an exclusive.
Absolutely. Would love to.
I've got an
Yes,
exclusive
please.
for you. So even before we even touched on Tony Blair thing, I've actually found an audio recording of the governor of the prison being interviewed, Epstein's prison, which has not been released yet. And I can tell you one part of it so far. He claims in the FBI interview that no one told him Epstein was in his prison. He didn't find out for several days.
Wow.
So I think he got put in over the weekend is what he claims. And then he only found out on the Monday. And they mainly found out because of the news. Because the news was talking about his prison.
Through the media.
Through the media.
Wow.
That Epstein had been dumped
That
in there.
seems insane.
Apparently that then meant he was in the general population, which, as you can imagine...
Was he?
Yeah. They're not, according to the interview, they're not sure. He thinks there's a chance that that he was in the general population, but he's not sure. And so therefore it's possible that he was put into security. And the reason you do that is because when you go in, and this is according to him, you would be putting that person into segregation and figuring out where they can go. And of course, Epstein being a well-renowned multi-millionaire, some even probably thinking at that time billionaire, and he's a... Sorry, I'm going to change that because I know that doesn't... And they know that he's a PDF. Means that he probably would have been attacked. Now, you add that in with everything else that we know with the prison and what took place there, and you're going, that's really risky to do that, but it's also, why would you not tell the governor he's a high-profile case coming into your prison? But then you go, is it again just down to the fact that there's no financing going into the prison service, or there's a lack of financing, that, the comms are poor in general because no one's invested in anything, no one really cares, it's a dumping ground for, is it 1 million or 2 million Americans, I think, are in jail? It's like one of the highest, is the highest incarcerated.
Really
It's ridiculous, yeah.
So there you go. We kicked off with an exclusive. we can ask your audience, what do they think in the comments?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up first, because I wanted to highlight something that seems to have massively gone under the radar. And I'm sort of sitting there going, is nobody picking up on this? Is that the video they released of Epstein's prison cell, the CCTV, what they released was of a different floor. And that was, well, yeah, because I saw, I'll tell you, I picked it up. I tried to find the pod this morning, but I couldn't, because it's from 2 years ago. It was way before the files were ever released. And they had an ex-convict that was in the same prison at the time Epstein was there. And he was starting his little online YouTube journey. And he'd gone on The Majority Report with Emma Vigeland and Sam Cedar. And he had floor plans, and he was like, look, this is the floor plan of the floor I was on, which is where the video you're looking at is of. The floor Epstein was on was above. But because they didn't, and funny enough, that got wiped. And because I thought, I don't trust my wonky brain, but I know I heard that.
Yeah.
I went on and I Googled it. And is that... sorry, I'm practicing with my new glasses. Still in my old plates. Yes, in January 2020, federal prosecutors revealed that surveillance video from outside Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell during his first suicide attempt on 2019 was permanently deleted because jail staff mistakenly preserved footage from the wrong tier.
Wow. Yeah,
Which
I
is
hope
why
that.
my jury is out on whether the man's still breathing or not. I've got a hunch. He's living somewhere, maybe in the Middle East. Call me what you will. I don't
There's
know.
a lot of that
But
rumours
why
around
is
at the
nobody
moment.
talking about that?
Mm.
Do you feel like there's almost too much out there at the moment? It's like,
Well, that's what the delusions, aren't they?
yeah.
And you just got to pick through what's real and what isn't. But I'd take an ex-crim that was in prison with him over the American government, the way things are.
Yeah, I mean, we're believing
come on!
Iran
Yeah.
over America at the moment, aren't we? So, yeah, it's difficult. But
When you look
but we've all been
look
raised
at
to
everyone
believe
inside
that
the
people
White
in the Middle
House.
East are liars.
Oh, yeah, but that's the problem, isn't it? So he had Elon Musk saying, never went, wouldn't have gone. And then it turns out he was begging to get onto the island on several occasions.
Desperate.
He got desperate and he got ghosted. He got ghosted by Epstein, which is insane. And then you've got the head of commerce in the White House, Schumer. No, I can't remember his name, but I can picture his face.
Scott Bessent.
No, it's not Besant.
Okay.
But it's definitely one of the heads of commerce who do a lot
The
of
baldy
trade
fellow
deals.
with the...
Yeah, but he's got a beard and he's got a bald patch and scraggly hair at
the guy
back.
sent by Israel to keep an eye on Trump to make him permanently remember that he's at the behest of other people.
We could go into that if you want.
I'm going to find his name.
That's a whole nother episode, I reckon.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Schumer, but I might be wrong on that. Well, he said, me and my wife went over to his house. We're next door neighbors in Florida, turned up, and he creeped us out because he started talking about massage tables, which he had in the room.
Howard Lutnick.
Lutnick, that's it.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Not
even
even
look it up, it
apologies
just
to him.
came. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Howard Lutnick.
There we go.
And he's like, yeah. And then after that one meeting, I was so freaked out. I said to my wife, we're never, ever coming back here, never near the guy. And then the emails, he's sending him a message being like, our ship's going to dock near your island. Can I bring the kids over?
I know, yeah.
I read that.
Just like, what?
What the fuck?
So you're looking at that
I
and
know.
you're going, what is going on? Like they're all corralling around the president for protection.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's the optics of it. That's why no one's quite believing what's going on with Iran.
Yeah,
But they're all in the pocket, aren't they? It's all
Of each other. Or...
one and the same thing of a particular country.
Well,
that isn't America.
there was an amazing claim I heard the other day. It seemed to be relatively well sourced. I think it was Mehdi Hassan. He was saying Lindsay. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. It was being claimed that Lindsey Graham had openly said that he had gone over to Israel, met with Netanyahu in a private meeting. And this is a public record. And he was showing me of all the stuff that was going on in Iran and all his concerns. And so he said he openly came to the conclusion they had to convince the president that Iran needed to be taken out. Except if you look back, I think even it's 40 years worth of footage, you can find Netanyahu claiming they were close to getting the bomb.
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks ago. Oh, wait.
It's a bit like Britain being invaded by Muslims.
That's it,
Yeah,
isn't
right,
it? So, for 40 years he's been saying they're close to getting the bomb, so we've got to go and blow them up and invade. And, Netanyahu's over the moon with this. Another war, another distraction, a bit more time possibly as Prime Minister.
Can I just interject that yesterday Lindsey Graham was photographed wandering aimlessly and on his own around Disney World with a bubble wand.
Are you serious?
There was, he's at he was at Disneyland over the weekend.
100%.
There was a photo of him
own.
with Mickey Mouse serving him at dinner. Yeah, at Disney World over the weekend.
On his own.
On his own?
Was he on his own? Yeah, I believe so. He was definitely there, though. Yeah, I saw those.
But you don't want to make you don't want to make accusations with him. A lone man being in Disneyland doesn't seem like the most normal of things, does it? In this current
Look,
world.
I go to a lot of places on my own. A lot of places, because otherwise I'd never leave the house. But I'm not like a septuagenarian gay man with terrible affiliations with people. So, make what you will of that.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a bit odd.
We could go down those conspiracy theory holes, but you've got Kash Patel going, there's no evidence of trafficking. I can
Yeah.
say
in front of
I'm
Congress.
looking. Someone's done a
Why
hack.
is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison again? For fun.
Well,
Why did the
apparently
Queen
just
give
for trafficking to
12
Epstein.
million quid?
No one else. No one else is what his claim is.
It's so ludicrous.
It's
not
insane.
funny. Yeah.
Someone's done a hack and they figured out a way to access the video files, exclusive video files and audio files inside the DOJ's files. So
really?
instead of going through all of it and not being able to tell which is what, they've actually figured out how to do it. So you can click through the list and you can figure out if it's an audio file and then start listening to it in videos. I've gone through, I calculated it the other day. I've gone through 30% of the files. I think it's in the
Wow.
number 10 folder. There's porn. There are so many women dancing in front of camera that it looks like, if I was to hazard a guess, and there's one image that sort of gives it away that it's in France. It's in Jean-Luc Brunel's studio.
Oh, yeah.
That Epstein was being sent videos from France and Russia of models to then have him select them to come over. That's what it looks like when you start piecing that all together. Go on.
Heidi Klum's in there somewhere, isn't she?
Is she?
Is she?
Yeah.
She
I
said
watched the
that.
thing before on... No. She's come up in the Epstein Files. She's apparently lesser to the Naomi Campbell allegations, but still not great. She knew what was going on.
What are the Naomi Campbell?
She was with the Briatoris and the... Oh, well, Naomi Campbell goes back years, doesn't she? Do you remember the Blood Diamond case and stuff? Oh, she got... Oh, we're going back a long time now. Let me just Google so I can name proper names and not just, what's his face. She was at a do. And she was given a genuine, like a massive diamond in a hotel one room. There was just a knock at the door and she was presented with this little velvet bag. And it ended up in a massive case. Was it at The Hague? I'm sure it was a war crime tribunal.
Wow.
You see, there's been a lot of news for a very long time. It's not just now.
Yeah.
It's just getting worse. No, I need to put Blood Diamond in there, don't I? Sorry.
I mean, she's all over the
conversation
files to an extent. Like, she's in the flight logs and so forth, but that doesn't mean anything.
She was all up in her Flavio Briatore, wasn't she?
Didn't know that.
He's massively involved.
She was also linked to
linked.
Nick Candy as well. She's linked to via Becky Fatemi, who's a big Reform donor now.
That's Reform's treasurer, right?
Yeah, and Becky Fatemi, who's now part of Sotheby's International, who donated to Reform last year. She was P. Diddy's PA at one point, but she organised sort of social meetups for Naomi Campbell, and that was with Epstein as well. So there's a bit of a link through there.
What's her nickname, Don?
Oh, what's it called? What? Oh, She Diddy.
She Diddy.
That was her nickname. Yeah. That's
I mean, that's a whole other can of worms, isn't it? But he got off quite lightly from what I can tell.
Definitely.
Here you go. Sorry, just in 2010, supermodel Naomi Campbell testified at the war crimes trial of former Liberian President Charles Taylor in The Hague. She confirmed receiving dirty-looking uncut diamonds in 1997 after a charity dinner hosted by Nelson Mandela, which prosecutors alleged were blood diamonds Taylor used to fund arms for rebels in Sierra Leone.
Oh.
Oh, my God.
So it's an international web of...
So she's got form. Yeah.
There is this layer that is so exclusive, it's not talked on, the media can't access it. You've got to actually be someone who's rich enough to be able to go in there with secret cameras. And it's sort of...
And lawyers.
And maybe lawyers, bodyguards, like everything. There is this... Because that's what you're getting from the White House. The fact that no one in America has been arrested and they're claiming that no one was trafficked to anyone else other than Maxwell and Epstein is insane.
It's beyond belief.
And you're going, from just watching those videos and what I've seen, I mean, most of it's blacked out, so it's really hard to see what it is. But a lot of it, you can clearly see it's a lady or a girl dancing in front of camera or doing a mini catwalk. And you're getting the impression that they're in some sort of lingerie. So you're going, you think there's a good chance they think they're actually applying for a modeling agency. And actually, there is a international trafficking operation from France and Moscow to the United States. But no one said that. I haven't heard I've heard Kash Patel say it's Maxwell and Epstein, but I've not heard them say they're bringing in people from Europe and Russia over into the United States and
No.
over to Epstein's Island. That I've not heard that. So that's a trafficking ring in itself. But I've not heard anyone say they're going to go after anyone in Russia, or Eastern Europe seems to be another problem one. I found a few images that I was like, that looks like Moscow. And it turns out it's girls next to like a famous church in Moscow or in a famous art gallery in Moscow. And you're going, okay, so that clearly seems to be someone advertising themselves to come over. Again, no one's bringing that up. And Kash Patel's saying there's no trafficking operation.
Where did the First Lady come from exactly?
Yeah.
So she's
Just saying.
She's
just asking questions.
Well, I mean, she's got herself in a lot of trouble because Michael Wolff was trying to, I think, get a hold of her, or he made claims. She threatened to sue, and Michael Wolff went nuts. And then it went, right, I'm countersuing. She evaded him for over a month. Because apparently he was
recent,
sending...
that, isn't it?
What's that?
It's recent, that. Like, he only served her papers like the other week.
Yeah, it took him over a month to get a hold of the First Lady of the United States. That's insane. It's clear she can only be in Trump Tower or the White House. It's all, I guess it's Mar-a-Lago. That's
Mar-a-Lago, that's it.
Yeah, but there's also like 3 deep security guards, aren't there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But then in theory, what you're meant to be able to do is give the subpoena to the guards who then give it, but they'll just go, she's not here. That's the argument.
Oopsie.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting because that's completely backfired because he's saying, because in the States, you've got journalistic protection under the Constitution. So if you threaten them, and it looks like you're threatening them because you're trying to stop them releasing a story, not because they've actually done something wrong, they've actually got a constitutional protection over there, which we don't.
But that happens all the time.
No, not here.
But most people don't have the money to be able to fight it.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's how the system works. Because then it's about if you got cash or not if you're in the right or wrong. Yeah.
Universal.
Yeah, I was going to say, very similar here, isn't it? You see, going up against the rich ones is difficult.
Going against the rich ones is a problem. I think less so with AI. Got a couple of friends now who've beaten top 50 law firms using AI in legal matters. Yeah. The case studies are normally where you fall down. You've got to go and do your own research into the case studies, like legal, precedents set by lawyers or
case law,
set by judges. It's generally not too good at that, but otherwise you've actually got a very cheap lawyer that does 99% of the work for you. They will put a case together. So things are about to change. I don't think the government knows what's coming, and neither do the law professions. I mean, we might end up having judges that are AIs. That'll be okay. Wild day.
Fuck that.
Well, it might actually end up seeing Trump and all of his ilk in jail if that happens.
Yeah, true.
Be interested to see how you bribe AI.
It. Oh no!
Maybe that's
people.
why
we need human people.
Maybe that's why Starmer's so keen to bring Palantir in and to get David Lammy's kind of court case thing through his jury trial.
The guy who owns it, Peter Thiel, is all over the files. I've not really
he is
deep dived on him yet into the files to have a look.
We have a little bit.
You have. What have you found?
Well, Don
I've written about him specifically, not him in relation to the Epstein Files, because it is such a overwhelming amount that he's a part of, isn't it? So
he's Satan.
Well, apparently he's doing some sort of tour, I keep being told, where he's talking about
the Antichrist.
About the Antichrist.
Sorry.
That I have written about, yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like,
ironic.
Yeah.
He was invited by Cambridge to do that as well.
Was he? Did he go?
Yeah, he went. James Orr, who's now part of Reform, invited him to Cambridge and to do his series of Antichrist lectures, of which there are 4, I think. Yeah. So
who's James Orr?
Yeah, he's professor of divinity at Cambridge University. He's a
nutter.
Big pal of Boris Johnson and Jacob Rees-Mogg and all that crew, but he's now been shifted over to Reform, and he's now a member of Reform UK. So, unsurprisingly, like all the rest of them,
isn't he a eugenicist as well?
He very much is, but he's a very sort of Christian nationalist, one of those lot that reformers sort of kind of import from the US. He's big on that. So
Is he the anti-vax guy as well?
I'm not
Or
sure
am I
about
thinking of
that,
someone
but
else? Oh, I'm
I don't
thinking
know
of
about that, to be honest.
Sumatra, not Sumatra. You know what I mean? The guy that they had a conference and then binned off because he was a loon.
Oh, Asim Malhotra. No, he's the
Close, yeah.
proper anti-science nutter. No.
Yeah.
No, James Orr's
Not
like
the
a
same guy.
professor of
Okay.
divinity at Cambridge, but he and Peter Thiel are best buddies with J.D. Vance and all that kind of right-wing Christian nationalist kind of American crew. So he's linking up reform with that side of the American politics.
Wow.
Got the claws in everywhere.
I am slightly aware of the time. Shall we touch on the Tony
Yeah,
Blair
sorry.
stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go. Dude, let's do that. That's what we're here for.
I mean, it's interesting. We can link it in through British politics. Like there was a claim inside the Epstein Files that Bannon was meeting with Mogg, Boris Johnson, and Nigel Farage. I think there was a fourth. And he said, yeah, I'm going to go, because it's all to do with the Theresa May stuff. I think everyone forgot, but I figured this out, that he sent that email, and then I checked the date. Do you know do you remember the photograph of Boris Johnson, Stanley Johnson, and Nigel Farage in the Chinese? That was the next day.
Yeah.
So you're going,
After
okay,
the
you're
Bannon
saying
email.
that Bannon didn't meet with you, but then there's an image of you and Boris Johnson randomly together inside a China. Again, you can go down the conspiracy theory route, can't you?
All I'd say is that they run in small circles and use exclusive places, so it wouldn't be out of the question. Just playing devil's advocate, as much as I despise them. So it's entirely plausible that they could have bumped into each other, but it's equally entirely plausible that they're all just playing a fucking game and we're all just the dickheads sitting here taking it, which is what the last 40 years would seem to prove.
That would be the Occam's razor solution in my mind, but yeah.
Yeah. So, just because we're now talking about British politics, Tony Blair, there are concerning, but not, it doesn't prove anything. These are all witness allegations, pretty much, involving Tony Blair. And we've been me and a couple of other journalist YouTubers have been trying to unpick this. But there is document EFTA 01248865. And the witness is interesting. So she claims to have lived in London. She met a Norwegian billionaire. Norwegian billionaire took her to a yacht in the south of France and met another billionaire. And she spells her name phonetically in the witness statement, which is interesting. It's just an interesting little detail. And it's a Swedish billionaire, and she stays on the yacht. She claims that the security service are ex-Mossad, which is weird. And essentially, the Norwegian guy tried to get into her cabin one night. She complained to the Swedish billionaire, and he moved her. And the Mossad agent security force were like, do this if he tries to break in. Gave us some sort of instructions. We don't know what they were. And then she comes back and claims that the Norwegian billionaire broke into her flat in London and assaulted her, which is significant. After the ship. So they did nothing on the ship. And it turns out the name that she spelt out phonetically, it turns out that Swedish billionaire is definitely connected to the Norwegian billionaire. They're like associates at best, maybe friends. We don't know. So you're going, okay, so you're going, this is quite an extreme story to have wangled together, and you'd have to do quite a bit of research to be able to figure out they're all connected and everything.
Make it up.
To make it up is odd. But, you know, I was saying to you how I've been going through those videos and audio files. There's definitely a few people in there who sound like they could do with some sort of support because what they're saying just doesn't make any sense. So you've always got to take these allegations with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
And she then said, after that, he paid her $10,000 as an apology, and then said, I'm going to go to a party. And this is very 50-50 in how she describes it, because you could take it either way. And she's going to, and at this party, Tony Blair and Bill Clinton are going to attend. So you're going, okay, that's
He
really
broke into
odd.
her flat to invite her to a party.
broke into a flat, paid her off, and it seems like maybe some time's passed when he then goes
Right.
to her again and says,
Right.
it's not,
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing sounds absolutely bizarre. You know, breaking
All
into
of
a
it's
flat,
bizarre. So
it's all bizarre. And it basically says that Tony Blair and Bill Clinton are coming to town and that they're going to go to a party. Now, whether or not that includes Bill Clinton and Tony Blair is up in the air. But he then says to her that he'd like her to sleep with Bill Clinton at this party. And they're going to have an orgy. But I think you'd take it one way or the other as to whether or not Tony Blair was going to go to that party or if he was just coming to town. She doesn't go, so we don't know if that actually took place. So you go, there's a lot of allegations and spuriousness here, and you've got to take it all with a pinch of salt. But the fact that Tony Blair is brought up at all is concerning.
Very
Well,
much so. Yeah.
But
I agreed with you on Friday when I watched you on Turn Left say that. This weekend he's come out very strongly against anti-Semitism, hasn't he? Have you noticed?
no,
Real
there's too much going on.
issue.
But go on, what did he say?
Oh, that's just me flicking through Twitter. Tony Blair's he's on this border piece, isn't he now, you see?
Yeah,
he released a
and,
statement on statement on Sunday saying that he said that the government should be stronger on Islamism, basically, over the weekend, he said. So
I mean,
that was his
I'm a historian and a teacher, and I used to say to my students, like, when you hear statements like that, if you would, or, you know, anti-immigration statements from politicians, I used to say to them, take the word, I give them a task, 5 minutes, take the word, go through the text again, take out the word immigration, put in the word Jew, and see how that sounds.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Exactly.
And would you think that was acceptable? And they all come back and go, no, that's horrific.
Yeah.
So how they're able to go around saying stuff like this and then act as if it's a nothing is beyond me. It's yeah. I mean, we were in a racist.
In the country's infiltrated.
Yeah, and I think
there's been
go on.
There's been a normalization of it, though, hasn't there? Especially since Farage and Brexit and UKIP and all that. It's been increasing, the normalization of that kind of use of Islamism to mean Muslims instead of, you know, like the serious sort of terrorists. And now it's just sort of thrown out as a word to mean it's a catch-all phrase instead of a very specific kind of political statement, which is a shame because it's been taken out of context now.
So the other thing I'd say is, like, when we hear of America attacking Iran, we don't go, a bunch of Christians just attacked Iran.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it's kind of against the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you could say a lot, like, there's all these concerns about warmongering when it's like, well, it's Christians that started World War I, World War II. The Napoleonic Wars, you could probably argue, or should have been argued, as the real First World War. So you're going, isn't it Christians starting all these world wars? Like, I mean, but no one says it in that framing. Like, that's the thing. Like, and you wouldn't, because you'd go, that's illogical. But, you know, this is no different to what Hitler was doing in the 30s by just, you know, saying, and because, you know, it's got to be clear, it wasn't just the Jewish groups that he was targeting. There was also the Romany travelers, or gypsy at the time. You had people with disabilities. You had evangelical Christians. Doesn't seem to have been that big a fan of the Catholics. So you're going, you know, those groups were being targeted, and everyone was being told repeatedly that this group was bad and damaging Germany. And now you're getting the same thing, everyone being told that this group is bad and they're all damaging it. And you're, you know, it's getting more and more extreme. It's a normalization of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's more to this, because we get into some very odd stuff with Blair. There is an internal FBI memo going between two FBI agents, and it's document, I think, EFTA 01648946, where the FBI agents make a reference to Tony Blair, and it's still a bit ambiguous. Like, the subject heading is Epstein's cellmate interview. That's the subject. But then you get into this to and fro where they're asking for the document which involves Tony Blair in an orgy. And you're going, is that Tarsione being interviewed? That's Epstein's cellmate. And he somehow brought up Tony Blair? Or is that,
Weird.
are they referencing what we just talked about with the Norwegian and the Norwegian billionaire? Is it something completely different? And it's not clear because we haven't got the full set of documents. So we don't know what they start talking about and how they end up at that position. So you're either going, they're referencing something that we've already looked at, or it's a brand new allegation. But again, you're going, why are they even referencing it? What's that to do with anything? And then there's a final document, which is EFTA 00883106. And this appears to be an Epstein. Sorry, I better make sure I've got the right one. No, it's EFTA 0014441. And it's correspondence with Rishi Sunak's office when he was Prime Minister, which is pretty weird. And then it gets weirder because she cites the law firm that are representing Epstein victims.
Yeah.
And you're going, okay, that's really odd that she would bring that up. And but you look through it and you can see that it's very emotive and it's quite manic, and you can question, whether that leads into further questions about the validity of the email. The flip side of that is, if you're reliving these experiences and you suffer with PTSD, that is normal. That is normal response under those circumstances. Or a normalized response, I think is better way, or a more common response. And
it's
then
perpetual gaslighting after you've been gaslit.
Exactly. So she's making allegations and she lists a load of people, and we can see that those people have been listed elsewhere. And within that list of allegations, she goes Tony Blair. And she's basically saying to Sunak's office, what are you doing? Why is this not being, why are these people not being held to account? I think Les Wexner is in there. And we know there are multiple allegations against him over this. So, and you're going, like, it's the same with the cellmate. The cellmate brought up Tony Blair. That is weird. Of all the names that could have been brought up.
Weird. Yeah.
That's
so
really
again,
odd.
you're going, this is really weird. And yet no one in the press is referring to this. Now you can go, maybe it's UK law. You need more than just allegations from 3 separate people. And we can all agree that maybe that isn't. But I'm looking at what happened to Mandelson. I don't think he even had a tenth of these allegations against him, other than he was just hanging out with him and making best friend messages to Epstein.
It's not so much the connection they're concerned about, is it? It's the business, the business.
But that wasn't
the treachery that they're looking at.
That wasn't the thing that got him in the first place. That's not what got him fired. It was only because people started digging around.
Lying to the Prime Minister
lying to the Prime Minister, having a friendship. People then dug around and then started finding evidence for that. So you're going, less has been said about Mandelson initially than it had been said about Blair currently. And then Mandelson, people started digging around. What's that?
What's the difference between Mandelson and Blair?
Well, it seems that one's...
Beans! It's about beans.
It's about beans.
He's got a lot of beans. And if you've got all the beans, you're untouchable.
Do you not feel that Mandelson's got plenty of cash to be able to fight this? I mean, not anymore because the emails have been implicated in, but prior to that, I don't think he was a poor man.
But compared to how much Blair's got with all his companies and his properties and his kids, and he's built himself a whole Trumpian empire, hasn't he?
You say that
since illegally invading Iraq.
There's an audio recording from Epstein talking about Tony Blair saying he can't be earning what he's claiming.
Really?
That was weird.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. And he's not calling him Tony Blair, like, or the former Prime Minister or anything else, or Blair. He's calling him Tony. Which also, again,
very
we
familiar.
go down all sorts of rabbit holes. Just because he says that doesn't mean anything, but that sounds like I don't call him Tony.
No.
Don't think any of us do, apart from his close circle. And for an American to be doing that, you're just like, I would
the
have gone
worst
and
I-
said
American at
Blair.
the time.
I saw a link in the file between Blair and there was an Epstein email about they were talking about Tony Blair's son attending. It was part of some thing. I can't remember what it was, but the email was to do with the Middle East, and it was referencing KB, which I assume they were talking about banking, and they linked in Tony Blair because of his son. I think KB may be Kingdom of Bahrain. I'm not sure, but it's difficult to know. But it was certainly it was to do with Blair's son being involved in the Middle Eastern banking sector. So that was another one I found.
It's an inner
Oh.
circle, isn't it? And it's very hard to pick apart who was doing what within that inner circle. But it's an
Very
inner
much.
circle that, the majority of us are not privy to. And we wouldn't be privy to if it hadn't been for this in many ways.
Oh no, we wouldn't have known anything
Yeah.
about this at all, would we? No.
No, we
It's
wouldn't
been
know.
a very, very long operation, hasn't it?
No, yeah. I mean, he's been in everything. Like, you look at all
So
the
what's-
sectors. It's art,
Sorry.
fashion,
Science,
universities,
education.
education. What was that?
We started out in education, didn't we?
Cryptocurrency.
There's
He's
a lot.
so wrapped up in crypto.
There's a lot wrapped up in crypto. It's a guy called Joey Ito. That I think
he
is an
was part
email
of the-
that's he goes. No, someone goes to Epstein. I think his name's Brian, and in an email, and goes, "I want you to hide the money like Joey, or show me how to hide the money like you did for Joey." Joey Ito, and you're like,
Joey Ito,
and it's cryptocurrency. Show me how to use cryptocurrency to hide money.
Yeah.
There's loads of references. And then you've got Nigel Farage like complaining that cryptocurrency can't be used for political donations anymore.
I know. That's a
That's
big
a very
circle.
big
that one.
shame. We're all
Yeah.
very sad.
Yeah.
I know.
Very, very. So what do you think of the...
More on
what do you
that
think of-
later.
Yeah, more on that later. What do you think of the allegations then?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think, do you know, have you looked or been able to work out who the person was that was sending those emails?
For each one?
Well, specifically for the one, sorry, the one with the sort of where she lists Sunak and all that sort of lot. And there's a big sort of, I think I got a name for that one, but I'm not sure if you had one.
I think I have a name, but I wouldn't say it because I don't think it's there. And there's too little, but I think I know who it is because there's references to South Africa in that email.
Yeah,
list.
I think we're probably looking at the same person, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's only a few victims of Epstein that would link to. And I think she's got English connections and American connections. So if you put that all together, most people would be able to figure that out or figure out the likelihood of who that is. But of course, we don't know because there are so many victims that we still don't know about.
No.
But they're still trying to dig them up, aren't they?
I think because, it's fair that we don't mention her because Sal and I talked about this one specific email, I think that you mentioned a while back. And the name I found up, she's quite... It's the PTSD thing. It's a survivor screaming into just help me, and you don't want to sort of play into that kind of trauma that she's already experienced. So
that poor girl's nervous system is shot.
Yeah, exactly, and understandably, and no one's been arrested.
Blair just seems fucking untouchable, doesn't he? I wish I knew what to say. Even I don't. Did you watch the Channel 4 Dispatches they did on him, or they did a 3-parter on him on Channel 4 recently? And they're trying to whitewash his image. It was annoying because even I came away going, "Oh, he seems a bit less bad," but I know he's not. He's terrible.
The whole Iraq War thing was horrific, and even if you went a lot of domestic look, I mean, he somehow managed to get a peace deal with Northern Ireland, in Ireland and the UK.
Oh well, that's what I said to you, wasn't it?
This is the thing. It's not always black and white in history. I think sometimes it can be. But
he's not taken account of the fact that Mo Molam died and he can't take her with him on all his other exploits that he's fucked up since.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, come on.
I hear that. I mean, there are other things, the school meals thing, I was working as a teacher at the time, and you could see that the education system got ramped up and actually invested in, people. It was looking like progression was taking place in the UK, and, it wasn't all about, just a few. It was everyone. But
I still think he's the best PM we've had.
That's telling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's worrying, isn't it?
There's a better way. I promise you.
Well, you have there's no way you can get out of, there is a way of getting out. You have to really think, but you have these fond memories, like the millennium, that was a decent celebration across the country. It felt like that felt optimistic. And, he got the Olympics as well, which people don't talk about so much. That was part of his legacy, making sure that got through.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know. And I look back at 2012, and I'd say that was actually like a relatively decent time, even though we'd had the Tories in at that point, and austerity was kicking in, but hadn't completely. But you were like, okay, we can deal with a bit of austerity. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's not fair. But there was a level of austerity that wasn't cutting through as being so horrific. And there were other avenues to get money. I mean, you could go to the EU and grab cash. If you had a social project that you thought could do good, there was funding available. So even if the government wouldn't provide it, they would. But yeah. So these odd memories.
He was.
Go on.
No, I'm just saying, but he was, like, for the country, the best PM we've had in my lifetime, and I'm 50 this year. I ain't got time for this shit. It'd be nice if, like, I could have 10 years of being able to live comfortably and not like, what's going on with the country? Why are they doing this to everyone? But,
I know.
Can't get out of it at the moment, can we?
It's a madness. It's human behaviours.
Austerity doesn't work, and it feels like Starmer's pretty much continued it. He sent a message.
It's not that it doesn't work. It actively damages everything and everyone whilst not working.
Whilst not working.
True.
Yeah, okay, I'll add that.
It's
a caveat.
fucking mad.
It doesn't work and it damages.
And
yet they don't get it. And then it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Because you keep hearing about eugenics.
Because it works for the 1%, Al.
Yeah.
The 1%
100%.
reap loads of profits during austerity because, you can damage everything, buy it for cheap, and then make yourself a comfortable business off the back of that.
Oh my God, yeah. Which is
short-termist knobheadery.
So I don't know what to, these revelations will continue to come out. I'm hoping the press will take this story on board. Why they haven't, I'm boggled by it. I think there are allegations. It's allegations. And as I said, there was no difference with Mandelson. There were just allegations of friendship, but it was front page news stories. So,
but with propaganda, it's like North Korea at the minute. Everything is client journalism. Even down to the bloody news agents.
Yeah.
I think the Mandelson thing particularly, though, is being used as a stick to beat Starmer with more than anything else. I think if he wasn't part of the Starmer cabinet or, sort of ambassador with Starmer, I think it would have been more of a back burner. But because the press are obviously out for Starmer constantly, I think that was an absolute sort of goldmine for them to just run in and just beat Starmer with it. But yeah, I agree. Blair should be.
Everyone knew what Mandelson was like beforehand.
I know. But do you know what I mean? Though it's ramped up much higher, I think, that's all, than because of that.
But even Mandelson used to get... there's clips of Mandelson saying, I am evil. I'm the evil puppet
Prince
master.
of Darkness.
Yeah, Prince of Darkness. That was it. Yeah. He's openly saying it in public.
Self-moniker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. But...
So it's not shocking.
No.
And
he's who Gavin Williamson wanted to be.
Yeah.
With his pet tarantula.
I wonder what Gavin Newsom. He's definitely going to be in the running to be president, as in, like, he'll be in the Democratic. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, he's just been bought up, hasn't he, by AIPAC? So,
has he?
Yeah. He went full Zio last week.
Did he?
Yes. Yeah. That much I can assure you.
Do you think we have any, like, in America?
He did a lovely interview with Tucker Carlson.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but MAGA over there,
now.
This whole thing with Iran, MAGA are completely rebelling against the Trump administration. I think Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, and another big, I think Asmongold. So, some of the biggest
Oh.
far-right groups have all come out saying don't vote Republican. In fact, vote Democrat.
I remember Nick Fuentes saying that about a month ago. I'm like, I know you're not well, son, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, you're like, I don't know if I've ever heard of something like that. Like, I mean, things have changed. These social media people have bigger viewing numbers than like CNN and Fox. So you're going, that's a lot of clout to have thrown against you. And they're going. I think Tim Dillon, another big podcaster, came out and was just like...
He's turned. Oh, Rogan turned yesterday, I think. I didn't watch the clip because I can't be arsed with him anymore.
He's been weird, man. Like, he's not talked about the Epstein Files. And that's been his big thing. And he's all Mr. Conspiracy. And the biggest conspiracy he's just gone quiet on. And you're going...
Well, he's a twisty-turny, shape-shifting twat, isn't he?
Yeah. It makes you wonder.
I despise the man. I used to admire him, and I now actively despise him.
I think a lot of people
hit the sell point of wealth and turned into an absolute psychopath, is my theory.
I think a lot of people, I guess that's one of the issues of becoming famous. I think a lot of people have become really turned off by a lot of these people because it's a grift. I mean, Nick Fuentes had a whole spiel about how much he hated his own viewers and how stupid they were. It was
he's just a self-hating little incel, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, completely. Yeah, he's got problems. But I mean, the fact is they're all saying that the Iran war was clearly a distraction from the Epstein Files. I'm 50-50 on it now. I think there are other things. When I listen to Lindsey Graham's perspective, I'm going, this is a perfect distraction.
I think the entire Epstein Files was the plan to get Israel's hooks into America until a president came along that was daft and demented enough to be basically beholden, because otherwise we're going to out all your mates as raging murderers. Oh, I've got to protect all my friends and myself.
I feel like that is one part of it. And you can't argue that the AIPAC lobby isn't powerful. They've got a ton of money. They do influence elections. But then so do other groups. Like Qatar's clearly in there. Russia is definitely in there. I'm surprised. You know what surprised me most is that there isn't a British PAC system. I don't know why that's not being set up. I find that so odd. Like, that's interesting that that's never been set up to influence American politics. Especially now with Brexit.
Shut up. Shh. Don't tell them.
Yeah. Don't give them any ideas.
Bad enough we've got shit or shit. We don't want supersonic shit and supersonic shit.
Well, it might shift Farage off to America for a little while and get him out of our hair. So yeah.
Just anywhere.
Well, I mean, the Reform Party are in this as well. Farage is mentioned. Tommy Robinson's mentioned. And then there's this whole stuff going around with cryptocurrency. But then there's, what was this? Cash is the guy who was implicated in the files as well, which I thought very much got brushed under the carpet. His fundraiser.
Who was that?
Guy, you mentioned his name earlier. Is it Cash?
Howard Lutnick.
No, for the Reform Party.
Oh, Nick Candy.
Candy. Sorry, not Cash.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
So their whole gambit is not allowing horrible people into the country. And yet Candy, post-conviction, tried to get Epstein a flat in London.
He did. Yeah.
So you're going, he's a convicted sex offender, and you're offering him, but your whole gambit is not allow people like that into the country. And you were trying to find a prime piece of real estate in central London, where there's hundreds of British girls. You can't make it up. And I didn't hear the press pull him on that and be like, well, hold on a minute, you're saying this. And all they turned around was like, well, he's a businessman, he's entitled to do business deals. That was their defense.
I know.
That was their defense for their Nick Candy. You're just like...
Yeah, absolutely.
Just before I go, because it's slightly related, Sausage Fingers has revealed he's still going to go ahead with his trip to America. Sorry, King Sausage Fingers, my bad.
King Sausage Fingers.
Ro Khanna has come out and suggested that he meet with the Epstein survivors. I think that's an
that would be
excellent
interesting.
suggestion.
Mm.
Just saying.
Do you think he'll do it?
I
Go
wouldn't have thought
balls!
so.
Yeah. Wouldn't lower himself to speak to common folk.
Do you think there'll be
brother?
a government investigation opened into this level of trafficking in the UK?
But here,
Yeah, because he was clearly trafficked. The Channel 4 had 6 women come out and say that they were trafficked by Epstein in the UK, and they sent it to the Met Police, and nothing happened.
Should they? Yes. Will they? Looking at the Pakistani grooming gangs issue, I think it'll drag on. Because we don't work as a country, because we're infiltrated by arseholes.
You think about that then. Who's been prosecuted for the blood scandal? No one. Who's been prosecuted for the post office? No one. Who's been prosecuted for Grenfell? No one.
Yeah.
No one. And now you've got
We
allegations.
need the Hillsborough Bill passing.
Yeah.
Not watered down. I need to speak to Ian Byrne.
Prosecuted for Hillsborough? I don't think anyone was prosecuted for Hillsborough, were they?
No.
And it's clearly the guy in charge.
They're allowed to retire.
Yeah,
Water?
that was it. It was early retirement, the police commander.
Sewage being pumped into our seas? No one's been prosecuted. If you did that in a lot of other...
People have died from that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually poisoned to death.
Yeah.
From water.
Yeah. Our
The
water.
fuck?
Our water that we can't go in.
Mm-hmm.
Madness. On that cheerful note.
How long before we're not allowed to drink
On
tap
that bombshell.
Water? But anyway, leaving you with such fun.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody for listening and staying with us.
Yeah,
Hope you enjoyed.
and thanks for joining us, Alex. That was really brilliant. Really pleased that you could join up with us. So yeah,
Thank you very much for the invite.
Much
And can I just
appreciated.
recommend everybody watch and listen to Sunday Roast every Sunday because it's fabulous and it puts
And we'll
off
put a
having
link
to listen
in
to
and
Chopper Phillips for a bit
collaborate,
longer.
hopefully. And yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, cool. All right, cool. Well, we'll wrap it up then and say thanks for listening, and we shall see you again soon.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.